I realized we hadn't really discussed what our After Dark segment's going to be this week. And one idea that I had was Jim Carrey's new face.
Oh, okay. Does he have a new face?
He sure does, babe.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also old.
I put Jim Carrey in Google, and the top thing is Jim Carrey new face.
New face.
Yeah, but he's also isn't he in his He's got to be 60s.
I don't think
still.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
How old is he?
Oh, Jim.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's 64. You're right.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Guy's got a weird face, but he's also in his 60s.
Okay,
Yeah,
but like,
well,
come on. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I have thoughts immediately.
Yeah, I think. Oh,
yeah.
We're saving this for after. Am I?
Yeah.
You got to save it for after. For subscribers only. This is this is what we call foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a tease.
A teaser.
Yeah.
We're dangling. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
It's just a little carrot.
Some dirty dangles. Hockey term.
Not ill. I didn't like
Okay.
that.
It's a hockey.
Producer Sam agrees.
It's a hockey thing. Okay.
It's a hockey thing.
Okay, I watched all 6 episodes of Heated Rivalry, and
that didn't come up.
And I didn't hear them say that once. And I also read the books.
I have not seen an episode of Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
From what I understand, there's not a lot of dangling happening.
Are you kidding me?
Necessarily. That was entendre. Double entendre.
Okay.
Whatever. It's
Okay.
fine. But the producer.
God.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're 0 for 2 there.
It's
Wait,
been
Jack, you read all the books, so you know what happens?
Oh yeah, I know what happens.
Is it a whole series?
Yeah, there's 6 books.
Oh, that's so many.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can just kind of fly through them.
Well, that's
They're
the
just sort
thing.
of like kind of barely written, I assume.
Exactly. I mean, by read, there's a lot of skimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe perhaps written is sort of a generous term.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
all my love. We're so grateful for the content, but
yeah. I mean, like,
let's be honest.
Is this like one of those 50 Shades things where it started as like a
fanfic,
independent fanfic, and then like became
basically, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Right?
It is that.
There you go.
It's fanfic about hockey.
Yes.
Yeah, but like it started as like an indie thing, self-published or whatever. And
I also read all the 50 Shades of Grey books back in the day. But saw none of the movies.
Did you read the Twilight books though? Did you go all the way to the
I did read all the Twilight books.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
If Jack's gonna do anything, he's gonna read all the related materials.
Well, I'm like
a completionist.
Yeah, and also it's just like they are like bioengineered for you to be like, oh, well, what's gonna happen after this? So that I'm like, what's gonna happen? 50 Shades of Grey, the books are not good. They're by far the worst of like all of those.
Twilight was My Chemical Romance.
Wait, what?
What?
Producer Sam, can you please produce a link? Okay, for those watching on YouTube or wherever, producer Sam just put in the chat that Twilight was My Chemical Romance fanfic about Gerard Way. And none of it. This is breaking news to me. Like 20 odd years later, I need a link.
That Twilight is New Jersey fanfic? I'm trying to imagine that whole.
No,
that whole
it's the Pacific Northwest.
It's Mormon.
Yes, but I'm
fanfic.
saying, but if it's about the guy from My Chemical Romance, famously
also,
New Jersey.
Wait, isn't the author of that book or those books? Is she like Mormon or something? What's the problem again?
Okay. Yeah, she's Mormon.
That's like the analogy for the whole.
That's why they're so fucking weird.
Yeah, she can't have sex or she'll die. Is the main like tension of the
Doesn't she actually die though?
She becomes a vampire.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens, and then she has the most horrific like birth that has ever been committed to literature.
Teen ostensibly teen fiction.
When she gives birth to a human vampire hybrid. Whom and then the little baby, her werewolf, not love interest because he's like lost the battle to be her love interest by this point, immediately imprints on her infant child and is like, now I'm devoted to you for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's a weird ass situation.
Well, let's circle back to the MCR fanfic part. Oh, not producer Sam producing a Reddit link. Okay, this is the R My Chemical Romance thread.
This is so funny.
This is not convincing.
Is this canon?
I'm not convinced.
This is so funny if this is true. When the movies were made, she asked them if they could use their music, and they refused. And wrote the song Vampire Money about it.
Weirdly, the soundtracks to those movies are pretty good.
Wait. I'm reading this top comment from Twilight Wolf 24. Discourse Blog, continuing to give and give. Fun fact, because Gerard Way formed MCR in response to his PTSD from the 9/11 attacks, and because 50 Shades of Grey is Twilight-inspired fan fiction that became its own story, technically 9/11 caused 50 Shades of Grey. You're welcome.
Wow. I mean, Osama bin Laden's biggest crime? You be the judge.
Welcome to Discourse Pod, the podcast where we discuss discourse, brought to you by Discourse Blog. Jack is here.
Hello.
Producer Sam on the keys. And back with us in the third chair, Rafi Schwartz. Rafi, welcome back.
Howdy.
I can't believe you didn't say ahoy hoy. I left it for you.
Oh, well, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. You didn't feel like it.
Wow, already falling down on the job.
You didn't feel like it. It's okay. I don't want to
direct
you. I don't want to over edit you. I've done that too many times.
Yeah, Lord knows.
It's been going on 10 years now. We have to stop. We were just talking about in the cold open, acts of terror, holocausts, mass murders. I don't know why. I feel like it's on everyone's mind right now. Jack, did anything happen this weekend that would make acts of terror, bombings, airstrikes, things of that nature come to mind?
I mean, I can't think of anything immediately. Obviously we're now involved in a glorious liberation of the people of Iran. So I'm assuming that you're not referring to that because, as we know, that's like super great.
Well, if you're going to refer to the military action, let's use its official government title.
Operation Epic Fury.
That's it. That's how you know it's good.
Yes.
I will give Pete Hegseth some credit. He's really consistent with his tone of voice. This is like when people would file Jack to us.
Yes.
You could kind of tell who wrote it without even really looking at the byline because everyone's got their thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
His thing being sort of like the writings and ravings of a Reddit incel, but at least it's recognizable, it's consistent. He has a point of view.
Yes.
The
last one was Midnight Thunder.
Well, there you go.
I mean, they all sound like I don't know how like a men's fragrance could be rapey.
Yeah.
But like that's the vibe to me.
Yeah, or like airport paperback thriller.
Yes.
Situation, but the worst kind.
Yes.
You had a really great blog about it over the weekend.
Oh, thank you.
Right on the day, breaking blog.
If you've got me blogging right away on a Saturday,
I know.
That's because something really fucked up just went down.
Somebody better have dropped a bomb.
Well, sweetie, he dropped more than one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was reading some Axios story, which this is we've been tracking this, but also like it wasn't obvious to me until like they did the accounting for us. This is a choice bullet point on Axios because they can't bother to write actual sentences. He's attacked 7 nations, 3 of which, Iran, Nigeria, and Venezuela, had never been targeted by U.S. military strikes. He has authorized more individual airstrikes in 2025 than President Biden did in 4 years. So really puts a fine point on how things are going.
Yes. It's just
geopolitically speaking.
I mean, it's like the same. It's sort of the same MO domestically as it is internationally, which is just like keep doing crazy, terrible shit, in the hopes that like we will just forget about the last one because the new one
is so fucking insane.
Is even more fucking insane. And this is, by some measure, like the most insane thing that he's done, probably over like the 2 terms of his presidency.
Yeah, I think in terms of like actual material impact, like, it's hard to top.
It's up there.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's really like unreal how comprehensively like nuts this shit is. Like it's just,
well, I think
like,
part of that is
unreal.
also we don't know how nuts it is. Like, there's this, like, the fog of war here is real thick. So like yesterday there's dueling press releases about whether or not the Ayatollah is alive. Like, no one really knows what's going on. It's like 15-second clips of an explosion in a desert. It's like, oh, this means that, like, oh, this front on that, whatever. But like, no one knows what the actual contours of other than like extremely bad and a lot of death. But there's no logic behind this. There's no real like coherence to it.
But I think we can trust the 2 biggest truth tellers on the planet, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, in
they're playing
what they
straight,
say
man.
about this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Jesus, I'm like, actually, don't get me started open-ended, because I will talk for 15 minutes straight. I'm gonna try to be restrained.
Well, do your best, Jack, because I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. I mean, we talked about this a lot with Catherine last week. We were on the precipice of war, and then now, and a lot about how the political establishment for decades now has been frothing at the mouth to finally do this. Trump has finally done it. Is it exactly as you imagined, or is it even worse than you imagined?
I think it's worse. It's worse than I imagined, because I guess I had not fully sort of internalized like that like they would actually be doing everything that they're doing now. And it's also worse than I imagined because it comes in the context of everything else that Trump has been doing over the past year and a half, but particularly over the past few months, like starting with Venezuela, etc. Just like it's not that like Trump is the first U.S. president to violate international law or to like assert the right of the United States to invade and bomb wherever it wants to. But just like everything else with Trump, it's like all of these things that we have seen before, but cranked up to just an unbelievable level. So if you look at like the difference between this and the last like catastrophe on this scale, which I think you would have to say would be Iraq. I mean, and I suppose I should like leave space for the idea that maybe we'll all be wrong and like this will be a glorious like outcome, et cetera, but I wouldn't bet on that one. But you know, like if you look at Iraq, obviously based on complete lies, terribly like zero coherent planning, like pursued like based on crackpot fanatical ideology and personal grievance, and but like also at the same time, like they spent like a year priming everyone to go to war with Iraq. They went through the motions of going to Congress. They sent Colin Powell to the UN. And like that doesn't make it a more legitimate conflict because it obviously was an illegitimate and illegal conflict. But like what we're watching now is like Iraq on just like speed, like it's just like a crazy like hyperdrive, and like the absolute insanity of the whole thing, the depth of the obvious mendacity that we're witnessing, the complete like contradictory reasoning for why we're doing this. Like, this is illegal, immoral, unjustifiable, unprovoked, like on just a scale that somehow manages to be beyond even Iraq in some ways. And I would always struggle to imagine that we would be in a situation where I was saying something like that. Now, obviously, we don't know where this is all going to go. Iraq was a huge ground invasion by the United States and a decades-long occupation. And we don't know if anything like that is going to happen. But already this has been just sort of unconscionable on a wild scale. And also to watch what we continually seem to be watching over and over again with Trump, which is just this repeated assertion that the United States is able to intervene in other countries, to kidnap, like in the case of Venezuela, or in this case, to assassinate the head of state of a sovereign country, based on lies, based on absolutely no imminent threat. I mean, Marco Rubio was talking to reporters today, and he said that when they talk about like an imminent threat, what he meant was that they were sure that Israel was going to attack Iran and that Iran would retaliate by maybe attacking the United States. And like, I mean, he says the president made the very wise decision. We knew there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties. I mean, like, that is nonsense. And so just to experience like the brazen disregard for any kind of legality, of reality, of consent, and to like watch this situation being created where we are now setting the precedent in a way that dwarfs in some ways even what we've experienced before in terms of like this assumption that one country has the right randomly on a whim out of nowhere to just go and assassinate the leader of another country, and to carry out this indiscriminate assault on its people. Like, it's just off the charts insane and awful. And so, like, yeah, in that sense, it is worse than I imagined that it would be. And it's really impossible to see where exactly this is going to go. But what is very clear is that they don't know what the fuck they're doing beyond just death and destruction. I mean, Trump himself was like, well, actually, we wound up killing like the 2 or 3 other guys who we were like debating that like we might want to take over from the Ayatollah after we killed him. It's like, this is absolute madness. And so it's just really, really horrifying every which way. I'll stop there.
So you're saying we exist in the context of all in which we live and what came before us?
Yes. I'm saying the Iran war did not fall out of a coconut tree.
Indeed. Rafi, I'm curious, has anything struck you about the domestic response? What are the suits in Washington saying right now? Has anything stuck out to you?
They are mostly kind of scrambling to get their feet under them, I think. I think you saw a lot of really, really bad feckless responses on Saturday when the attack was first happening. A lot of, oh, well, we understand that Iran has been a bad actor in the region, blah, 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 but we don't like that we weren't told about the attack before it happened. A lot of congressmen from XYZ district, and I don't care. People just putting out these statements because they felt a compelling need to put out a statement, not because they had anything really interesting or worthwhile or valuable to say about the actual things that were happening. I think since then, we have seen some lawmakers be a little more, have a little more of a spine and actually say, like, this is bullshit. Like, you're the usual suspects of generally good lawmakers have been saying this for a few days now, but you have people like fairly middle of the road lawmakers making more aggressive statements about how this is not a question of congressional approval. This is just a bullshit illegal war, which I think is the bare minimum that a lawmaker can do, not centered about themselves and their being asked permission, but just making it a much more flattened illegal or legal. So we're seeing a little more of that. I think what I haven't really seen, and this could just be from where I'm sitting in the Twin Cities, but there hasn't really been like a big anti-war mobilization effort the way you saw with the Iraq war. And I think part of that is, to Jack's point, that this is happening so fast and without any sort of preamble that for as much as people kind of knew it was happening just because it was in the zeitgeist, and he's been talking about this I think Trump has been talking since the 80s about taking Iran's oil. So it's not like it's totally out of the blue, but I think the actual like material operation happened so quickly and with such little transparency, or even like the effort to fake transparency, that there hasn't been the sort of mass mobilization against it that I would have expected, that I would have recognized from the Iraq war. That doesn't mean it won't happen in the future, but I think it's taking a little longer for people to really get their head around what is actually happening. And I think to your point, Jack, that at least with the Iraq wars, there was this sort of effort to go through the motions and at least like spend a year getting public opinion, or at least trying to get public opinion on your side, working with international partners, like all that stuff. None of that has happened here. And I think the deliberate message with that is that Trump is saying, we'll do this to anyone who fucks with us. We don't care. The rules of telegraphing this stuff, those days are over. I'm in charge now. And he's running a protection racket, basically. That's what this is.
Well, and I mean, a couple of things. First of all, like in terms of like public opinion,
everyone hates it.
Yeah, it has to be. It like cannot be stressed enough that there is zero like popular base for this war. Like
it's 1 in 4, which is basically Trump's the core of his party, and that's it.
Right, but that's that's not even his entire base.
Right.
Like Trump's approval rating is at what, like 35%, 38%?
There.
And so like there's a good chunk of people who are like, I generally support Trump, but I don't support this. And it's obvious why they don't support it, because it's fucking insane.
Well, and also because he even I think that like the 10-point margin between his approval and the people who approve the war is that he expressly said, I mean, not
he's been campaigning on this.
But he campaigned on
anti-war.
Not even on like vague promises of being anti, but like, I will not start a war. Period. No new wars. That's his quote.
Right.
So like the whiplash, I think, is turning people off in a way that they might not have been turned off had he not made such a point of establishing himself, or trying to establish himself as like the anti-war president in the first place.
But I think like, to what you were saying, Rafi, which I think is really true, like the contempt inherent in doing something like this is part of the point. And it's not just to say, although obviously this is part of it, like you said, to be like, we can do whatever we want and we'll do it to you. It's also to send the message like, you think that like what you care about and what you want like matters at all. Like, it doesn't matter. You have no power. You have no say. You have absolutely like no role in like this society, in like this political system, except to just do whatever the fuck we tell you to do. And I mean, you're sitting in the Twin Cities, like it is absolutely the same impulse governing this war that governed like the domestic invasion of your city. Like the same absolute cruelty, the same disregard like for people's lives, and the same message, which is that you are only like serfs and pawns to us, and you will do whatever we say or else.
I would add to that the same total amateurishness. There's no like, they're not doing a good job. Like Kuwait's shooting down F-15s, like, and in the Twin Cities it was the same way. Like no one knew what they were doing. There's no sense that these are the people who are going. Let's say you buy into all the justifications of this whatever bullshit war. Let's say Khomeini is the devil, or Khamenei, I forgot. The Ayatollah.
Yeah.
The Ayatollah is the devil. Iran is the worst place in the world. It is drawing the world into a irrevocable conflagration, and we need to get rid of it immediately. Say you buy that. I think you're an idiot, but whatever. If you buy that, and then you look at what's going on, like this is not the squad to do it. Like they're not putting out the varsity team. And I think we saw that in the Twin Cities too. Like everyone they have who is actually able to, who is actually in a position to operationally like do things in these contexts are woefully inadequate. They're not trained. They don't, not that training would help, but like they're fucking up. They're just making mistakes. Like for a statement war, if that's what this is, I think the fact that it is so sloppy and so poorly managed on just like a operational level, like none of this is going well as well as it's supposed to be in terms of like a smoothly functioning operation. And so I don't know. It's just like it's shocking to me that the amateurishness of this hasn't been pointed out more. And I think in part there's this sort of taboo against calling anything that the military does amateurish. But it bears raising the issue of like, they're not doing a good job of this. They're fucking themselves up. And it is only to everyone's detriment. Ours, the rest of the world, everything.
Jack, what have you noticed so far with how our dilapidated mainstream media is covering our next war?
You know, in many ways, like, again, you look back at Iraq, and that was characterized by like the wholesale swallowing of the lies that the Bush administration was putting out. I think we're in slightly different territory now, purely because the lying is so like shoddily done,
incoherent.
Yeah, and because, you know, like Trump said, like literally 6 days ago, like we obliterated Iran's nuclear program, and then went on television at 3 o'clock in the morning to be like, we need to like wipe out Iran's nuclear program. I mean, like, it's so obvious that they're not telling the truth that even like the New York Times, which loves printing government lies, has to be like, maybe not so much. That being said, there is a limit to like how these outlets know how to respond to any war situation. And so mostly we are seeing the same jingoistic, hyper propagandistic bullshit that we see all of the time, which is even more pronounced when you think about, like we were saying, how deeply unpopular the war is. Like, this is really one of those moments where you see the distance between like ordinary people and the media class that purports to represent them and speak for them and speak to them. You have like all of the usual crazy ass characters. Brett Stevens is like, thank you, President Trump. All these people who are usually like, wow, Trump is like really like destroying our institutions, like blah, 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 blah,
last
blah.
gasp of the old neocons.
Yes. So the neocons are very happy with this. You have like the usual parade of like absolutely crazy generals and shit popping off on CNN, MSNBC, or sorry, MS Now. Like one of their first major
Don't
guests.
apologize for dead naming them.
No, sorry, MSNBC.
Wait,
They're like,
can that go in the After Dark? Fuck MS Now.
Sure. I mean, that can go either place.
I hate
It's valid anywhere.
I hate it.
You mean the name?
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
awful.
care about. I don't care. Yeah, the name. I don't care about the
Heinous.
content, but the
Yes.
name. Anytime I see it, I may.
Yeah.
Oh.
Multiple sclerosis now.
Yeah, Ms. Now.
Yeah, Ms. Now. But like one of their first guests on the progressive network was John Bolton. Like this is classic. I mean, but we have to, as we love to do on this podcast and on Discourse Blog itself, reserve a special slot for our good friend Bari Weiss, because this was really like the first sort of sustained moment where you could see like the complete transformation of CBS News from just a part-time U.S. propaganda network into a raging full-time, not just like U.S. government and U.S. military propaganda network, but like a fanatical, like crazy U.S. propaganda network.
Weird ways, like trying to prop up the Pavlovis. Like,
Yes.
What are we doing?
They rushed Scott Pelley like over the weekend to Paris to talk to the exiled son of the deposed Shah of Iran, who like insists that we treat him seriously as some sort of like opposition figure who's waiting to take over the government, even though he hasn't lived in Iran for 50 fucking years.
And again,
why did
the family leave?
Yeah, I forget. Probably benign, nice reasons. Nothing they did. And then like, but sort of even more insidiously, I was like sort of tuning in, jumping around on Saturday, when everything really kicked off. And like for hours, like CBS News just handed over its coverage to the Free Press, Bari Weiss's other home that's now like merged with CBS News. They're like, all right, now we have like all of your like favorite characters, and it was just like a parade of the worst freaks you will ever see. And that bled into CBS News proper. I mean, in their primetime special on the war, like they had on the most insane people. Like they brought on Douglas Murray, who is this like British guy and who is a wild racist Islamophobe, like great replacement crackpot. And he now gets to go on CBS News and like
you could have just said
chit-chat.
British. I don't know why you used all those words.
Yeah, no, I went on too long about that. And like, that's not to say that like, oh, like Douglas Murray has never like had access to U.S. television before, but there is something different about what is going on right now.
But I would say to that, Jack, the weird thing is and I said it was the last gasp of the neocons just a couple minutes ago, but Bill Kristol's coming out being like, this is terrible. There should be no war with Iran. And even John Bolton, it was like, I don't know, this is kind of fucked up. So like, even if you're finally doing the thing that every neocon for the last 50 years has wanted to do, and like the main pillars of that movement are like, whoa, hang on. Like, then you fucked up pretty bad. Like, you fucked up in like what you're trying to accomplish, or you fucked up in being able to accomplish. But something, the rubber is not meeting the road there. And so I think the fact that there is criticism from that like rarefied air of conservative pedigree. Not that Bill Kristol has been doing his best to shed that lately, but like, yeah, that speaks to how wildly unpopular and how wildly unserious this whole exercise is.
Well, and I think it also speaks to, and this is something that I think you can read between the lines a little bit on some of like the Democratic responses to this stuff as well, from people like Chuck Schumer, from people like Tammy Duckworth, who went on CNN and was like, listen, I love that they killed the Ayatollah. I just would have liked them to tell me about it first. Like, if you're someone like Bill Kristol or John Bolton or someone like that, and you have been lusting like for war with Iran, for the decapitation of the Iranian government, for decades and decades, and the opportunity to do so comes in such a shoddy package, you know,
it must be offensive to them.
I think there is a strain running through some of these people where they're like, I really wanted to be able to support this, but you have not given me enough cover to be able to sign on. Like Chuck Schumer opposed the Iran nuclear deal. Like, he is a fanatic on these questions in many ways. And so I'm sure he's like, damn it. Like, if you would just like put a little more, like a few more bows on this thing, then I could just be like, oh, actually, like, we love you for doing this. Thank you.
Well, I think
we really don't do regime change like we used to.
No.
Well, you know what I mean?
I
used
think
to be a proper country.
With Bolton and Kristol, I think they're offended by how shitty this has been. Like, it offends them as their project that now this asshole is fucking up their life's work. And I think that is at least part of like what's fueling their public vitriol against this. That they're like personally hurt that he has taken this from them.
Speaking of things that personally help, I think it's time for this week's Cultural Rex. Jack, do you have anything?
I do. An excellent transition, BTW. Beautifully done.
One of my best. Not.
You know, I mean, it's really hard to go from like.
Wait, are we doing not? Are we gonna do the podcast that brings it back?
Not. You know what? We sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. No, this week's thing that I'll say Frasier to, is Rafi's look of befuddlement. Watch some previous pods, Rafi.
Oh, how did I do this?
The thing I'll say Frasier to this week is the new show from the 30 Rock universe, The Rise and Fall of Reggie Dinkins, starring Tracy Morgan, Daniel Radcliffe,
what?
And Erica Alexander from Living Single.
Once again, I say what?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's really crazy because I feel like this has landed with like apps with like zero publicity. I would not have known about it except that a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you should watch this. It's really funny."
I feel like it's landed with like weird publicity because I've seen Tracy Morgan and Daniel Radcliffe doing like press hits, but never do they mention that it's for a TV show.
Well,
like, I think they're just like out and about.
Press hits have to be so high concept these days.
Yeah.
Like I came across like a fake Jeopardy clip with Ryan Gosling in it. That's for his new movie. And it's just like, he's a character he's like a contestant on Jeopardy. I don't know. It's very strange. But so this is like it's from Robert Carlock, who like did 30 Rock with Tina Fey. It's like produced by Tina Fey. And it stars Tracy Morgan as this like former football player who is found to have been gambling on all his games and like has to sort of like leave in disgrace. And like 20 years later, Daniel Radcliffe, who is like a documentarian who's also somewhat in disgrace, is like, oh, maybe I can like make a movie about like your redemption arc, basically. And I only think the first 2 episodes have aired, and it's like, it's not on 30 Rock level, obviously, because like what could be, but it's nice. It's fun. Like Tracy Morgan is good. Daniel Radcliffe is good. It's great to see Erica Alexander like get a nice part. She's great. And I laughed a lot watching both episodes. Like it seems like the kind of thing that definitely like might get canceled like after 1 season. But it's definitely enjoyable. And basically my rule is like anytime the like 30 Rock extended universe does something, I'm gonna tune in.
You're interested.
Yeah. Like is it as good as like Girls 5 Eva? No. But is it like good for like something diverting to watch right now? Yes.
Excellent. Rafi, do you have anything?
I am getting excited for this week's premiere of the TED TV show season 2. I realize this is a potentially controversial or perhaps simply
what's
confusing
TED?
opinion. There is a TED TV show based on the movie, the
animated
movie.
The Seth MacFarlane movie?
Yes, but the TV show is significantly better than the movies. It also stars Alana Urbank, who is, I think, deserves 1 million Academy Awards. You've seen her in everything, and she does not get her fair dues. But the TV show is surprisingly sweet and much funnier than it has any right to be. And I enjoyed the first season, and I am looking forward to the second because I like to laugh in 22-minute segments.
That's beautiful.
That's like me and the
other
other show I just mentioned.
Yeah, why do I need to complicate?
Oh, yeah. Reggie Dinkins. Another terrible name.
These titles.
They're really giving these things like bad names. That must be like some sort of algorithm thing that they figured out.
Oh, like how they decide on car names?
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on.
Just hits your ear the right way.
Aleks, what's your recommendation this week?
Well, Jack, my recommendation this week is not a very exciting one and perhaps a predictable one. The most recent season of Traitors UK. It's finally available to us Americans who are less adept at alternative viewing methods. It is now on Peacock for all to enjoy. I just started it right off the rip. These people are psychos, and I'm so excited.
Okay, how many episodes have you watched?
I've only watched one.
Okay, who do you like so far?
These Traitors, I'm like, guys, I'm waiting for this talking dog level lawyer to fuck it up for them.
Oh, Hugo?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a huge tool.
Yeah. Really incredible stuff. So you don't have to stop your Traitors Fix fans. In fact, we just dropped our special edition for subscribers.
We sure did.
On the site and on Spotify for all to enjoy. If you're a paid subscriber, you can enjoy our recap of US Traitors Season 4 with me, Jack, producer Sam, and Caitlin. A great time was had.
Yes. Oh my! I'm so excited that you're watching Traitors UK now. It's so good.
Oh no, I've seen all the other.
No. I mean this season.
If I'm not a Traitors person, where should I start?
Oh,
I mean, you could start with this.
Yeah, You can start with this. Like, you don't need to.
I can go in cold. I don't have any.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Bring
like
no baggage.
It's barely a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've heard good things.
Do you think Jack, having seen all 4, do you think 4 is like the best like entry season?
Yes, I would say 3 or 4
of UK.
Yeah. But I would say I would choose 4 over 3.
Okay.
Because UK is where it all started, and like all the other editions have just been adaptations of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I heartily recommend. It is a great show to scream at the screen at.
Yes.
And with that, that'll wrap another episode of Discourse Pod. Jack, Rafi, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, I gotta do my spiel. Ready? Thank you for listening to another episode of Discourse Pod. Please remember to like and subscribe wherever you listen to or watch us, if it's right for you and your family. And remember that if you're a subscriber, you can go over to the blog, discourseblog.com, for an extended version of this episode with a bonus After Dark segment, special edition episodes, and all the written blogs. And you can also link your subscription to Spotify and listen to and or watch, if it's right for your family, that extended episode and special editions there. Come back next week for another new episode. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Discourse Pod is a production of Discourse Blog. I'm your host, Aleks Chan. Jack Merkinson is my co-host. Our producer, editor, and art director is Sam Grasso. You can listen to every episode of Discourse Pod at discourseblog.com, on the Substack app, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.